I am not a medical doctor. The techniques and procedures described in this podcast are not intended to replace professional medical advice or doctor-prescribed medications. If there's any time that you feel that you're alone and you want to hurt yourself, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. You're not alone. It's a free call. Stop what you're doing and call. Okay, welcome back, and thanks for listening. So you're feeling a bit pent up, possibly. Maybe a little helpless, maybe a little uncertain on what to do or what you can do, or if you should do something. So here's a couple of suggestions, possibly. Now, if you can safely go join in at one of these protests, I would say go do it. Just make sure that it's going to be a safe space, and don't go there thinking that you're going to be throwing bricks or whatever, or just go and get involved in it with some other like-minded people, and maybe that can be kind of cathartic for you. Just because being cooped up in your home while all of this stuff is going on and you're watching it through a filter of one particular media source might be stirring you up in ways that are probably not the best. So it's best to maybe go out and check these things out for yourself, see what's going on, and you can possibly make a difference there. There are things you can, volunteer. There are community resources that are always looking for volunteers to help people in the community. One thing that I've seen are people getting together and going out and cleaning up their city after some of these protests. That can be a bit cathartic and kind of get you into a good headspace, just because you're doing something constructive and you'll be out with other people with the same mindset. And there's just something about community building that if you can get together with like-minded people towards a positive goal, it can definitely leave you feeling a little better. You get home and you're going to sleep better. You're going to, there's all of those things. One thing you will want to do, and I recommend this, I do this quite a bit actually with all of this turmoil going on, is I kind of limit the amount of news or social media about this that I'm taking in. Just because, like I said earlier in this episode, there's just so much of it. And it's coming in at just breakneck speeds. And some of it is checked out, some of it isn't checked out. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There are a lot of people that are deliberately trying to bend the narrative one way or another, and you might not necessarily know what to believe. I recommend just kind of taking a break from this, or at least not getting obsessed with it, because, as with any other obsession, it's generally not healthy. So you just want to kind of back off, maybe watch some more cat videos or binge a cooking show or something on TV. And one final thing I want you to kind of try to concentrate on is, as far as the feelings of helplessness or maybe despair sneaking in. We'll talk a little bit about despair again. It's best to do what you can to tell yourself that you are not going to despair, that you are not going to succumb to the feelings of helplessness. Because there's always going to be an answer. There always is. If you really want to find one, answers will be presented to you somehow. It just kind of happens if you leave yourself open to it. And you might feel weak and sad, and that's okay. Those are emotions. There's nothing wrong with emotions. A real, true emotion, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's just that you don't want to dwell on those feelings. Feel it, accept it for what it is, that it's an emotion, whatever. But then Again, tell yourself you're not going to despair. You're not going to live in that emotional state. Find ways to move forward, even if it's just the tiniest thing to move forward away from that despair. Despair is kind of an oddly comfortable place when you're used to living in it. If you've spent a lot of time in that particular mindset, it's oddly comfortable to hang out there because you know what to expect. Going out and making changes in your life that can be scary, whether they're even little tiny changes. It can be kind of scary. But you're going to come out stronger if you just face up to those little fears. It doesn't have to be big steps. You can be, we're talking baby steps here. You got to walk before you can run, before you can fly. Like I said, volunteering can be just a small thing, or making small donations to organizations that you agree with or that are in your wheelhouse or whatever. Those are little things that you can tell yourself you're making a small difference, a small positive difference. You want positive things that you can feel good about. Maybe you can go on TED Talks and find some motivational speakers that are talking about something that interests you, that makes you feel like a better person. Find those sort of things. Just little things like that to drag yourself away from your safety net of despair, your safety net of anxiety and fear and those sort of things. Because after a while, you can kind of look back at where you were after taking all of these little baby steps. And the next thing you turn around, you look where you were and where you're at now, and it's a different world. And you can baby step your way to a completely different world, a completely different mindset, and, dare I say, happiness. It's all there. It's all waiting for you. And you can do this. Like I say every week, if you don't believe in yourself, that's okay. I will until you can. I believe that you can do this. You just have to do these steps. You just have to take baby steps in a positive direction. And that's all it really takes. Nothing great happens overnight. Large changes take time, but in retrospect, it's always worth it. So that's all I've got today. I hope some of the things I've said might help you out a little bit. This is Wayne Tapia of the Upspin. Thanks for listening. You have a good one.